I had a different plan for this week, but I've been feeling well for most of the week, so, and this plan I had was going to require a bit of a field trip. Not a long one, just a couple miles each way, but more than I really filled up to. I just barely made it to the grocery store this week. So I'll see if I get feeling well enough this week to try that for next weekend. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be worth seeing. But for this week, since I wasn't able to do what I had wanted to do, I will instead talk about Mondegreens. Now, the Mondegreen gets its name from being misheard. The lady who gave it its name, listening to a Scottish folk song, thought the line that they laid him on the green had said Lady Mondegreen. And so the term Mondegreens was born from a misheard lyric. I have some favorites. I think they're wonderful. I think they're hilarious. We start with, now there is a website called Kiss This Guy. And they catalog, I think, thousands of Mondegreens. They get their name from a Mondegreen. The guy that started the website admits, with all good humor, that in hearing Jimi Hendrix's Purple Haze, he misheard the line, "Excuse me while I kiss the sky," as "excuse me while I kiss this guy." Hence the name of the website. One of the most common ones, and had it not been a Mondegreen, it would sure be a nice thing. It is from the Creedence Clearwater Revival song Bad Moon Rising, where the line, "There's a bad moon on the rise," is commonly misheard as "there's a bathroom on the right." Now, there's lots of these. Some of them are a little more risque, some of them are a little less risque. And there are entire videos of them on YouTube. Just look for Mondegreens, Mondegreen, and you will find all kinds of them. One of my all-time favorites, and this is probably because my granddaughter she was more or less obsessed with sharks because of a tickle game. Steve Martin used to do this thing, "Oh, the shark bites with his teeth there." I adapted that, only I would let the shark bite into her ribs a little bit and tickle her. And she loved that. "Grandpa, is the shark awake?" I heard that I don't know how many times. And in fact, I have was, you know, the singing electronic fish. She got me one year for Christmas. It's a shark, and it sings Mac the Knife. Well, part of it anyway, the same parts I used to sing. But because of her, there is a Mondegreens that is particularly dear to my heart, and that is Pat Benatar, where the lyric "hit me with your best shot" has been misheard by a number of people as "hit me with your pet shark." And I find that quite amusing, especially when it lets me think of my granddaughter who passed away from leukemia just about a year ago. Not quite a full year yet. But Mondegreens are lots of fun. Yeah. They're related comedically to puns. Puns being basically in two classes. One is where the pun is the point, and the other is where the pun is a play on words. Where the pun is the point, basically, is when like the guy walks into a bar with a big piece of asphalt under his arm, and he says, "I'll have a beer and one for the road." And then where the pun is, you know, because of the wording, the words themselves become the pun. There was a newspaper that held a pun competition. You could enter as many times as you wanted to. One guy sent in 10 entries. He figured out of 10 he had to win. But as it turned out, no pun intended. I know that's terrible. It's awful. But that's the great thing about puns. But puns can be a play on words too. And that's where the Mondegreens gets related to them. The amazing and very famous Abbott and Costello routine, "Who's on First?" is basically a series of puns. I know the guys' names now. Jeff Dunham and Peanut have done that more recently with Password Panic. In fact, this goes back to about 2020, the pandemic, and Peanut was trying to get the passwords for them because Jeff had changed the passwords for their Wi-Fi's backstage, on the tour bus, and at home. Well, he asked for the one backstage, and Jeff said, "I can't tell you." "Well, why not?" "Why can't you? Why not? Why can't you tell me? I just did." "Because the password is, I can't tell you." The one for the tour bus was, "I don't remember." The one for the home Wi-Fi was, "You have to guess it." Then Peanut wanted to see these in black and white. Well, they were on Jeff's computer. Well, what's the password for his computer? Who's asking? Peanut is asking. No, who's asking? And then, of course, for those of us that might have been a little slow to pick up on all of that, Peanut finally said, "Well, I'll just ask your mother." And Jeff says, what? I'll ask your mother. And Jeff says, oh, that's the one from my cell phone. Just like Abbott and Costello ended up with, you know, Luke Costello and who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. And I don't give a darn. And Bud Abbott said, well, I don't give a darn. Oh, that's our shortstop. Same thing, final reveal for those that are a little slower. But that is some really good comedy. Can give you a nice little chuckle and add a little joy to your day.